last time, they all are gone. I ended up giving them away to some guys I met on the river. It's okay. That's okay. So we have to tie as many as I can for fishing tomorrow. And I'm thinking, so I learned something interesting. I did this natural brown, but I also fished like a brown, and the natural brown was much better than the brown. I think the brown is only for summertime. So we'll do some natural brown, some smaller stuff. I'm thinking 16s, 18s. Here's an 18. We'll start with them. And then we'll do some 16s as well. The moose body fly with the CDC wing and hackle fished very well last week. So we'll do some of that. And then just crank them out as many as we can do. That's the plan. Not super exciting. I was tempted to fish for bass. Real tempted. But I know in my heart it's still a little bit too early. The live scopers are catching them. But I don't have a live scope, and it makes it, and I generally don't like to fish a sinking line if I don't have to. And so waiting is the best for that. Bass fishing will come soon enough. We'll do this 170 olive. This thread splits very nicely and is quite thin. It doesn't build a lot of taper, which is what we want today. So let's get this strung up. I've been practicing my knots. Always good to practice your knots. But this is also how I thread my bobbin. Throw that mono in there and then thread it through. There we go. All right. We'll get started here. Throw on the tail. For the tail, we'll use the CDL, Coq de Leon, but I already have a feather going. This one's almost out, but we just get 2 of those fibers, and then we trim them off. Placing them, it's difficult to place it directly on, so you kind of cock it to one side and let it roll over. And then I like the tail of the dry fly to be a little bit longer than other people tie them. It's just my preference. There we go. And trim it out. And then the body for this one, last week, the moose mane. This is actually moose body. But it held up well, no glue. After 4 or 5 fish, it kind of started falling apart, but that's expected. So just a couple hairs from 2 is enough. I have 3. That 3 is a little bit too much. We'll do the 2 longer ones. And then I just trim off the tips. I tried tying the tips in as a tail for one of them. It didn't look great. And then I started toward the eye and then work it down. so the body's uniform. The hair has a natural taper, and so you want to use that. That's why you tie in from the tip, and then just wrap nice and slow, holding with my left, wrapping with my right. There's good segmentation. The color also goes from dark to light, so there's a little color variation as well, which I like. And then close to the eye, let's lock it in. 1, 2, then we'll trim it out. We'll do a wing. See if we have any scraps. If we have scraps, then yeah. So here's a good scrap. So we've used this feather, but the tip is left. So that'll be a good wing feather. And then if we can find one that's a similar color, that would be nice. Here's one similar color. It's a little bit smaller. So 2 of the scraps, if I'm using a fresh feather, I'll just use 1 fresh feather, 2 scraps, 1 freshie, and get those tips matching. And we're gonna tie them in toward the front. And too loose, let's adjust the length a little bit. I like it a little longer. And then I also like it sitting forward, but we will adjust it momentarily. You could keep, this would make a good, like a little hopper leg. You could knot that, but we're not that frugal. We'll throw it away. And then I lift up the wing and do 2 wraps in front and another wrap behind. My tail got a little bit, yeah, there it goes. And now we do the legs, or the hackle. We had a feather that was going for the hackle. Yeah, here it is. So this one, we've used one side of it already. And so we'll use the other side, and then it'll go into the wing pile. So we can use, we don't have to waste too many of these feathers, but I don't think these are super expensive feathers, but there's a lot of waste in fly tying. So this is just a grocery store clip. And you clip it, and you trim it, and you save that guy. Let's put him there because we'll tie another one. This is a bodkin. This is not a fly tying bodkin. This is like some like yarn crochet or something. But it has a sharp, very sharp point, and I run it under my thread, and then I find the seam and I just split the thread with the bodkin. And this is a 70 UTC 70. It's quite thin. So that bodkin does a good job. The thread is split. I'm inserting the material in the clip and then letting the thread work around. The higher you can get it up the thread, the better, because those will be wasted wraps. Spin up your thread one more time, and then let the material spin. You can, with your thumb and index, you can run it up the thread to make it spin more. And then you want to preen, so they're kind of sitting. This just makes it more manageable. And now we'll wrap. Majority of the wraps we want behind the wing. 1, 2, 3, and then save a couple wraps in front. 1, 2, 3, and then we have to let the thread unwind. There's a lot of tension. If you whip finish with a wound thread, the thread is very weak, and then your knot will be very weak, so you have to let it unwind. While it's unwinding, you can kind of clean up the legs or the hackle. I don't like to have anything longer than the wing, but leaving long ones is actually quite effective. So I'm gonna knock a couple of those off, but leave them a few longies. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, you'll be tempted to try to knock them all off the bottom. Don't do it. Don't do it. And that hook eye is pretty crowded. I see one I have to trim. Just 2 real wraps for the whip, and then I want to cinch it down, and then we'll do 2 more. You want to cinch down your whip finishes, because I don't add glue. I don't add any head cement to the dry fly. Not that I don't have anything wrong with it, I just am too lazy to do it. And take out the thread. There's one longy I saw. Yeah, there it is. And take it out. And then if there's any of the CDC that's trapped in a loop, you're gonna want to pull that out, but it looks okay. And that is our little mayfly, like a Betis pattern. That little guy right there. Oh, I dropped it. I'll try to show you. This little guy got a nice long tail, prominent wing. It looks good, sits well. The imprint is good. So yeah, we'll do a couple more of those, and then we'll do a little bit different variation. The hackled dry flies, I stopped fishing because it takes a lot, for an 18, you need an 18 size hackle. Then there's all the different variations of colors of hackle, and with the CDC, you can buy just the packs of it in a variety of colors, and then you can manipulate it. You can trim it down. I found it easier to work with. And then once you fish a CDC, you kind of fall in love with CDC. There's 3 fibers here. The last one had 2. This one, I guess, will have 3. Kind of let it roll. Yeah, that's good. A little bit long, way too long actually. We want it long, but not that long. And that looks okay. Knock that off. Finish it out. Moose body. 2 hairs. Here was a short. Knock off the tip. Tie it in. And wrap the body. lock it down or give it a trim. And now wing, we had the one we saved. Let's try to find another one. Ooh, there we got another one. This is pretty ugly though. That's okay, these are for me. They can be ugly. Two together. And go ahead, tie them in. Two loose wraps, draw the length, that's about good. A couple in front. Oh man, this hook is, the gap on this hook is crazy. There's a gap between the hook eye and the hook. I think I should just, that's a little bit, I'll just give it a go. Continue. Get a freshie for a hackle. And this one's not good. This one, I'm looking for a feather that has the same length fibers on the side. This one is quite good. And then we'll fluff it out. We'll clip it. This clip's getting old. We'll trim it. And then we will save that. And split our thread. Insert our material. And spin it up. We lost some, that's okay. We have enough. You could not use the hackle and just use the CDC wing and the body. It's enough to float it. And I think that pattern is called an F-fly. The hackle is an extra step, but definitely not necessary for a pattern this size. Preen and wrap. Wrap, 1, 2, 3, 4, behind, 1, 2. Now there's that gap between the hook eye and the shank, so we're going to try to fill that in with thread. Let that go for a minute, and we'll clean up the legs. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's causing some issues. I think we're in the hook eye now. I think we might have to do this. We might have to build it up just a little bit more. And we're in the hook eye. Now we're slipping off because our thread head is too big. But we got it. Okay. Let's check if we have clearance. Yeah, we do. That was a close call. That'll do it. There's another little mayfly. And I want one more. Because, again, this is for me. For my fishing. Okay. Oh, the lighting is awful. I apologize. I'll have to stand first, put myself in front of that window. Alright, let's get a little tail action. This is CDL feather. 2 of these little doodads. And actually I have 3. 3 is okay. Offset, let the material roll over the top. Let's draw it in a little bit. That's good. Finish the wrap. Moose body. 2 hairs. Trim the tips. Tie them in. And wrap the body. For a little bit more durability, you could coat a little thin coat of super glue while you're wrapping. But obviously you wouldn't want to put your finger there if there's glue on it. And that's good for the body. Let's get our wing. Yeah, there's 1. And 2. Let's match those feathers up, and then we'll tie them in. 1, 2. Draw them back just a bit. Couple wraps in front. Trim it off. Hit our hackle. Was that the hackle we used? No, that wasn't. We had here it is. Yeah, we got one of these feathers is missing a side. This clip sucks. Let's do this clip. Clip it. Trim it. Save that guy. Split your thread. There we go. Insert Insert the material. There we go. Spin it up. Whoa, we almost disaster. And preen. And wrap. Okay, here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Behind 1, 2 in front. Perfect. And then we'll let that unravel. Give our legs a trim. Looks good. And with finish. Oh, it's coming off. And with finish. Okay, so we did. Give it a look-see here. That's our little mayfly. You can see there's a little tail, a prominent wing. Huh. Yeah. I'm satisfied with it. Let's go a little bit bigger. Change up the color. That's too big, I think. Yeah, here's the 16. That's enough. And we'll do a little blue wing olive. If you were fishing in the States, I think you would want to also do some little, that's a long tag, some PMDs, little yellow mayflies. So little olive mayflies, little brown mayflies, little yellow mayflies. But here where I'm fishing, there's not a lot of PMDs, so it's just brown and olive. Later in the year, there's big yellow mayflies, but there's nothing really yellow around right now. Body material. This is super fine. Oh, wait, what do we got? Tying a tail first. What are we doing? CL for the tail. Measure it out. How many do I have there? Yes, that's 3. Or 4, wow. This would be a very taily mayfly. And trim it off, okay. So this is super fine. You just need a little bit of dubbing. And then tease out a little, add it to your thread, tease out a little, add it to your thread, tease out a little, add it to your thread. Don't worry about making like a tapered dubbing rope. Just focus on the length, the amount of dubbing you want. And then when you tighten it up, tighten one direction. Don't roll it back and forth. And the superfine is synthetic. It's not a natural hair, but you get a nice tight body. So that's why it's good for dry flies. I don't like nymphs. I don't know if you would want this for nymphs, but for dries, if you're dubbing a body for a dry fly, this is the dubbing you want. And perfect. No, it's a little bit much. Take some of that out. Okay. And then we'll do the same wing. No, not same wing. My blue wing olives, I've been using this Callibatis colored CDC. The feather's different from the natural. It's a fluffier feather. You'd only need one for the wing. But I like the color for the blue wing olive dry fly. I've had good luck with it, so that's what we're using. But there's a lot of feather here. And the tip is the best for the wing. However, you can use, I'll show you, a couple wraps in front. Knock that off. And then we have, I'm gonna go with the natural color for the legs. I'm not gonna use the same color for the wing as the legs. That's pretty short, but yeah, I need a better feather. Ooh, this is a beauty. A little bit dark, but quite nice. Very dense. Oh my God. I'll clip it and then we'll trim it. And we'll save it. But I know these patterns are not very exciting. However, we need them. Spin it up. Let's get this, I think the thread's in front. Yeah, let's get it behind the wing. So we're not knocking the wing down. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 behind. 1, 2, 3 in front. Let's let it unwrap. They're trapped in there. Ooh, gotta give it a tug. And then we'll trim out those longies. Finish. And cinch it down. Trim it out. That's a little blue wing olive. Mayfly, CDC mayfly. No, I know it's not super exciting, but every day can't be a mouse. Every day is not a mouse. And let's try to knock out 2 more of these. We'll check what time it is. And we can do maybe something funner. More fun. Funner, more fun. CDL for the tail. Measure the tail. Tie in the tail. Finish the wraps. Superfine for the body. You can also blend the superfine colors. So if you wanted a little bit darker, you could throw like a black. If you wanted lighter, you could throw in the pale yellow. It's good. Versatile material. And this pack, I've had this pack for like 5-6 years, and I haven't even used a quarter of it. I think, who makes Superfine? We're gonna give them some free advertisement. Who makes Superfine? Hairline makes Superfine? Who makes Superfine? Oh, here's a package, but there's no, I cut off the company name. That's not important. Who cares who makes Superfine? And wrap the body. I have put way too much. What? Fine. And wing. So we used the tip of this CDC feather last time, and we're gonna use it again for this wing. And just try to draw it up, get the right length. It's a little bit long. And then we'll shape it. When we're shaping, we want to angle down, then angle up to shape it. It doesn't need to be perfect. So yeah, angling, I think there's a sharper cut down and then a shorter cut up. You can get the wing shape. It's not, obviously the tip would be better, but just making do with what we got. Here's the other half of that other one. Clip and trim. Oh, so if the feather's long, you can clip it in the middle, then trim it, and then use both sides of the clip point, so you have double the material to tie in for the hackle. Split the thread, insert the material. So you can see I don't think you can see. When I spin it, it's going to be more, the materials like 50-50 distributed. And so you're getting both sides of the feather as the hackle, which gives you better coverage if that's what you want. Sometimes that's not what you want. You want it sparse. And let's work on, so these got wrapped up on themselves. Okay, let's advance the thread behind. Majority of wraps behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, perfect. And let our thread go. Yeah, we don't even need to trim any of these. It looks pretty good. And then we'll whip, I think. I still need more big dries for the summer trip. I'm trying to think of what I need. Jig streamers for the summer trip. The mouse. A couple mouse patterns for the summer trip. But I also I need to tie a couple deer hair bass bugs for this pre-spawn bass fishing that will happen in a couple weeks. Maybe we can do one today. Okay. So a little blue wing olive mayfly. A good pattern. What time is it? We got a couple minutes. Let's do something more interesting. Oh yeah, so I fished this last week. We tied a fly using half of this zonker. So this is a bling strip, and then we halved it to make it thinner, and it fished really well. It looked good in the water. So we'll just mimic the pattern we did last week. That's what we'll do today. Is this the right size? Yeah, let's one size up. This is a big jig hook, quite thick. Then we'll put a big old 4 mil bead on there. But we have to find a bead that's big enough for the hook, which is always a pain in the neck. That one looks good. Yeah, that's good. Oh no, I'm not. I'm missing something. So this ride's inverted, and we want our fur on top. And how long do we want it? Yeah, about that length. So we're gonna pierce it. There's not a lot of, since we halved it, I don't know, maybe we don't have enough to pierce. So we'll just tie it in regular. Okay. Tie it in regular. Do a pink thread. Whoa, Nelly. Insert that into our bobbin. We wrap the thread around the bobbin. We'll fix that. Okay. Lock down the bead. This is a waxed thread. It would not be good for splitting and doing that CDC technique we did. We want this rolled. So let's trim out a tie-in point. And then we'll just tie that in. A drop of glue would be good for this when you're doing these strips. Body. The last time we did a red mylar flash, I think for this one we'll do a pink flashaboo. And then I've got another idea too. So we'll do the pink flashaboo. Tie it in. Wrap the body. It doesn't need to be perfect. And tie it off. We're gonna hit that with a little nail polish, thin coat. And I guess we'll have to wait for this to dry. While we're waiting, let's looks good. Should have done this first. The first thing we should have tied was this, so it can dry. I think just this alone you could catch a lot. Catch every fish you need to catch with just that. And clip it, and we'll just set that down so it can dry. I really want one more dry fly for tomorrow, but I'm kind of over tying them. So this is a fly I use for largemouth bass, and I want to figure out a way to like shrink it down for trout. Foam body, a little bit of fur, deer hair head. So I'm kind of prototyping. The problem is the trout hooks have a short hook gap, shallow rather, and this is a lot of material. So I'm workshopping ways to make a more trouty mouse. We tried last week, but last week we got sidetracked. We ended up tying a deer hair diving mouse, which was a bit ridiculous. And the other patterns we want to tie are the other patterns we want to tie are this guy, this streamer, there's so many flies in that box. So we wanted to tie this streamer again. Maybe I could do this one again. And the target is bull trout in Idaho. The problem with this one is I didn't really think it through. It only has one hook. It has a metal shank, and most streamer patterns, articulated ones, have two hooks on them. So I don't know if like a one hook this would be fine for bass because they inhale the whole thing. But I think trout tend to swipe or they eat differently. So maybe will be the bass version, and then the trout version will be something else. And then we tied this guy. This has two hooks on it, but it's significantly smaller. Both are unweighted or lightly weighted, because I don't really like fishing multiple rods. So I tend to go out with just a 4-weight, and I want a streamer I can throw on a 4-weight, and I know I can throw this on a 4-weight. So gotta tie a couple more streamers, gotta tie a couple more big dries. There's a lot of flies I need. There's no shortage of time. Let's check it's ready. It's gonna be soft toward the top. A responsible person would wait and let that dry at least another hour. But we're taking risks. We're taking risks today. All right. Rubber. We'll do yellow rubber, chartreuse rubber. 2 on each side. It does, normally I don't like rubber legs on streamers. Like, I don't fish any bass streamers with rubber legs on them, but somehow they just work for these trout things. Do 2 rubber legs. 2 on each side, but closer to the angle toward the bottom rather. And let's give it a trim. If you were to tie it in one piece, it would make it stronger. But losing these legs, I don't think is a huge deal. And tying in one piece will also give you a more buildup in the head, and I don't want that. Okay, so kind of tied them on. They are on each side, but they're tied in at the bottom, which is good. That's what we want. Okay. Now for the head. I want to do. Last time we tied the head with just ice stub, but I want to do a where is it? Oh, I found the superfly. Waspy makes the superfly. This is the dubbing we use. Waspy company. I'm sure every company has a dry fly dubbing though. Ooh. I'm getting sidetracked. So I tied one that used, where is it? This bait fish emulator. We cut a lot of this out. This is a synthetic brush, and we cut a lot of this out last time. I'm thinking using it again, but not wrapping the whole brush. Yeah, so we use this bait fish emulator for this pattern. But there's something else I wanted to use, but I can't find it. Yeah, well, let's go with this. Let's go with this. And we'll make our own brush. We have a piece of foam and it has a slit, and I'm just gonna lay the material over that slit, and then I'm gonna drop it in the slit with this bodkin. So now it's sitting vertical. I'm gonna come back with the clip. I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna release it. I'm gonna trim out the ends. scissors are wee dull. That's fine. Our wax thread is not good for this loop. I'm going to make a doubling loop. I'm going to go around the base of the loop 1, 2 times, lock it in. I need the right tool for this. Just something to hook that loop. We'll use, here. So this is a paper clip, just bent up paper clip. And I'll stick it in, insert, a little bit of wax would be nice here. Touching, not rubbing, touching the thread with the wax, just touching. And insert, drop it in. Now we'll spread it out, distribution. The wax is good for this. That's good. So we'll spin it up. If you had a weighted spinner, you can just spin it like we did with the bodkin. But I'm going to do this by hand, which is fine. It doesn't take long. You know it's ready when it furls on it, the thread furls on itself. You can do it too tight. You absolutely could make the loop too tight. And what happens? You'll just break it. We'll preen. Let's get our legs under control. Because the material's so messy in this brush, after every wrap, you want to preen. So you're not, so everything kind of sitting, lying flat. And this is too much. Stopping here would be fine. We can cut some of that out. We'll trap our loop. We'll undo our tool. And lock that loop in. Cut it out. I'm not going to start cutting this yet. And brush it back. I like a little color variation. So I'm gonna, this is just a red flashy dubbing. I'm gonna take a pinch, I'm gonna gently roll it. I don't want it distributed all throughout, I just want that throat. And I'll sit it on top. And I'll try to sink it in the behind the bead. It's too thick right now. So we'll pick that out. And then we'll drop it in. Maybe we'll throw some eyeballs on this one. Since there's a lot of buildup in the head, there's enough clearance to glue in an eye where you're not gluing it on the bead. So we'll add a little eye. Just to the underside of the fly. We'll try to avoid getting glue between the hook gap because it'll create a solid mass, and that will not be good. Okay, let's pick everything out. That looks good. Let's get our eyeball. A little yellow eye. Or maybe a little red eye. We don't want the eye too big. Usually you oversize the eye, but for this one we want to undersize it. Because we don't want it to, we're going with the little silver eye. We don't want it to build up too much, blocking that hook gap. Eyes on the left hand. Glue in the right. This is just super glue, and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to just hold it and like hair gel it. I'm going to do just try to get exactly on the side. So where the thread meets the material, one drop. Eyes on the left. Placement. Hopefully it doesn't get on, yeah, we don't want it on the bead. Want it right before the bead. Set. Let it set. There we go. So that's one eye. Let's get the other side. Maybe these are, yeah, eyes are appropriate size. Place the eye. Quickly adjust the placement. Not on the bead. Let it set. Ooh. Yeah. Let's do a little drop between, yeah. This one I did too far under, but I might, yeah, it's too late now. Cockeyed little streamer. All right. Yeah, so a simple little jig streamer, tail, head. Essentially the body's just the wrap mylar. Got our little rubber legs going. It adds some volume to the body, which is good. This will be fished in current. Got some eyeballs, a little color variation, which we like. The rubber legs running down under the zonker, almost like a lateral line. Maybe we could have done like a darker rubber. Ooh, the rubber's not the same length. What the heck? Oof. Just let it go. Yeah. All right. Enough fly time for today. Oh, hello. Hey, all. Said hi. I need a smaller patch of moose like that. Yeah. Smaller patch of moose. I want a bigger patch of moose. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys watching, and if there's anything you want me to tie or need help with, just let me know, and I'm happy to help you. But hopefully we get back soon. All right. See you later.